If you live in a remote area or you find your local meteorologist to be a doofus, you may get one of these, and it's a Midland Weather Alert Radio. Now, these are on the market and priced at like $35. I ended up getting one for free because I attended an emergency planning event, and they were kind enough to provide these to any individuals that would want one, so I said, what the heck, why not get one? And yeah, so you may say to yourself, oh, it seems quite archaic in these times to have a weather alert radio. But as I mentioned, if you happen to be in certain areas where perhaps accessibility to technology isn't there or updates on weather in the same way, these can be very effective in helping you and your family out, especially in cases of emergencies related to the weather. So how does it exactly work? Well, with this in the box was a trusty Midland Weather Alert Radio manual, so I just followed along with that. If you go onto YouTube, Midland does have a video you can follow along with if you'd like, so there was no need for me to create that for you, as well as the manual, if you lost it, is readily available on the internet as well, too, to follow along with it. All you really do, follow along with these buttons, you set it up, set the time. You can then set it all up for your specific county in the U.S., so that way you then will get the weather alerts as relevant to your county as you would get if you were watching a news program. So once all set up, you then, there are a variety of different local broadcasts that you can get specific to weather alerts that you can then line up, have your antenna up, whoops, nice and high. I accidentally pressed a button, but that was fine. Shows you that the blue background can light up for you to see the time and whatnot. You can also then set things up so that you have that broadcast there appropriately as you would like. And really, this can be your home clock, too. So you could set up a little alarm to go off each morning when you wake up, and then it's got your broadcast there, and instead of hearing, Christina Aguilera's Genie in a Bottle or whatever you have set up your adult contempo radio that you have usually with your alarm, instead you get the broadcast radio from the weather alert, just providing you with what the weather for the day will be, any concerns, things of that nature. Along the lines, you can also set up alarms for whenever a warning of any kind may come through to your county. That way you hear a beep going off, an emergency alert, and you know full well, hey, there you go, we've got an emergency. The radio comes, you can put in 3 AA batteries and then it's good to go. You could also, it has an area where you can plug into an outlet, but of course in emergency situations you may not have access to electricity, so that is where the Weather Alert 8 radio is very helpful. You've got 3 AA batteries and they aren't provided. How cheap of Midland, how dare they make me pay for this free thing I got. But so obviously 3 AA batteries, you have them around, go ahead and put them in. And that keeps you equipped in those emergency situations to know what is going on out there. And as I mentioned, for myself, I live in the mountains. Many others may live in remote areas, rural areas of our beautiful country. So this proves to be very helpful because often in those rural areas, the ways of us finding out about weather or road situations are connected still through the internet and through our phones and through social media and things of that nature. And hey, you never know what can happen and what can lead to perhaps days of no access to other individuals. And that's where something like the Weather Alert Radio, 3 AA batteries in there, and an antenna going out to broadcast to help you in those situations can be effective. And that's where the Midland Weather Alert Radio can help. So, any questions you may have about it below, leave them in the comments. As you can tell, I live in a mountain area because my landline is now going off. Alright, I'm back because I didn't want you to have to listen to my answering machine. You just heard the beep of clearly a robocall on my landline. But anyway, it speaks to my life and where I live and why a Weather Alert Radio is beneficial. Again, any questions, leave them below in the comments. If you like this video, do like it and do subscribe. more videos to come on whatever kinds of free things I acquire at weird events I go to, and how-tos and whatnot. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to some,